Welcome back for more reading from Horns of the Goddess by Dolores Cannon. We are finishing up the introduction. Dolores writes, I have encountered many people who had past lives in ancient societies or Gnostic groups that had tremendous knowledge and abilities. This had to be kept secret for their own safety. There have always been groups down throughout history who desired mystic knowledge for their own use. These people were not allowed to have the information because they often wanted to use it negatively. In my book, Jesus and the Essenes, it was shown how the Essenes allowed themselves to be tortured and killed before they would reveal their secrets to the Romans. This has been the case throughout history. Many of these groups had powers and abilities we cannot even approach or understand today. But it's coming back in our time, because it will be needed in the new dimension we're evolving into. I have many clients who want to retrieve this lost knowledge that they knew in past lives. Doctors want to remember the psychic healing methods. Therapists want to remember the use of energy to heal. And herbalists and similar workers want to bring back their knowledge of plants, herbs, and oils. Artists want to regain their artistic abilities and techniques, as do musicians. I have found this is easy to do. All information is stored in the subconscious mind. If a person had a lifetime where they practiced these ancient arts or abilities, the knowledge is never forgotten. This is one of the things I love most when I'm doing my past life regression sessions, because so many of my clients discover ancient lost knowledge that they were a part of protecting or creating, or even abilities that they never knew they had that get unlocked when they have a session. I have had a client who discovered her ability to create portals in other dimensions. I've had a client who went back to a life in Atlantis and retrieved knowledge about how we can use crystals and the energy within crystals and how we can harness that energy. I have another client who went to a past life as an artist woodworker, and she discovered that person's art still exists in the world today. Another client who went back to a past life as a healer and a witch, and she learned about how women in that time and in that circle used their moon blood for healing and for giving back to Mother Nature and giving back to the earth. I had another client who went back to a life as a dinosaur, and we got to learn a little bit about how dinosaurs lived. This is the most fascinating part of past life regression, because you never know what you're going to learn from a past life. Okay, so she says, if the person had a lifetime where they practice these ancient arts or abilities, the knowledge is never forgotten. It's stored as in a gigantic computer and can be accessed if it is appropriate. That is always the key, if it is appropriate. The subconscious is the judge of that, whether it's advisable for the person to remember these abilities or not. In my technique, I communicate directly with the subconscious mind, and it makes the decision about whether the ability should be allowed to return to our time period. The majority of the time, it will comply because it knows the person's motives better than anyone. Thus, I can see our world benefiting from this, and I think it will help improve and change the world. I completely agree. I think if everybody in the world had a past life regression, oh my gosh, the world will look like such a different place. There would be so much healing and so much activating that would happen. This is what I call a groundswell or undercurrent that the average person is not even aware of. Many of my clients are opening healing centers all over the world. These centers will use ancient healing methods based on long destroyed societies and even healing machines from ancient Atlantis. These are being reconstructed, as are free energy machines that were in use in Atlantis and on other planets. I've found people all over the world who are working on these things that come from other lifetimes and which will greatly benefit our present world. My part in all of this is to act as a mediator to allow the person to access their own lost talents and return them to our time. The knowledge and abilities of ancient times was incredible, and we've not even begun to develop these talents. But we are on the path to regaining it, and it will come about in our time. We will live to see this in our future. Of this, I am certain. In this book, I will present some of the cases I found over the years of lost information and knowledge. The little people, fairies, elves, and leprechauns were real. They were a part of everyday life. It said they still exist, but we're too involved in our hectic lifestyle to be aware of them. The people in the past lived a more agriculturally based lifestyle and were much closer to nature, thus, these beliefs were very real. Today, in our modern technological society, we laugh at these beliefs until the gremlins get into our computers and play games and create havoc. The old religions were also very close to nature and knew how to work with the forces of the earth that were very real to them. Magic was and is real. It's just the use and manipulation of energies. The result of this manipulation can be either positive or negative. The problem is not with the energy, but with the manipulator of it. They can steer the energy into any direction they want it to go once they know how to use these methods. It should always be remembered that the use of energies creates feedback and karma. The wise manipulator or practitioner knows that whatever way the energy was sent out, that it would return to themselves tenfold. So they were very careful not to use the energy for negativity because the results on themselves could be devastating. They respected the use of this power. The picture painted of these ancient Gnostics and practitioners that's come down to our time is one of negativity, but the wise ones knew the cost of having these powers and would not use them in negative ways. But so often, down through time, these people were misunderstood, and when others found out about their abilities, they were persecuted or killed. No wonder the souls today are hesitant to revive these powers and knowledge for use in our time. They subconsciously remember how dearly they paid for their abilities. In certain time periods, the church was very diligent in trying to wipe out practitioners of anything they considered to be against the church. So much of this work had to be done in secret out of fear for their lives. As I've said in my lectures, they hung us, they burned us at the stake, they killed and tortured us, but we are back. They thought they destroyed the knowledge when they destroyed the body, but it is never lost. It's stored within the subconscious mind, just awaiting revival. Dolores Cannon.